2025 is going to be a great year for whiskey. A bunch of awesome stuff is being released this year. So, time to make a wish list. I got 6 big bottles on my wish list this year and a couple more at the end that aren't quite as wished for. And because they're not out yet, I have my notes. So here we go. So this first 3 are like in the same category. So the Octomore 16 series. Y'all know the 15.3 up over here was the second peatiest whiskey of all. Now, this is not going to be the case for the 16 series, but they do sound really awesome. So for the 16.1, we've got, they're all 5 years. 101.4 ppms, 59.3% ABV in all bourbon casks. The 16.1s or the .1s of the series are always like the most standard, just 5 years, high ppms, cask strength, and then bourbons for the barrels they use. That is the one I have the most experience with. The 15.3 was the first time I got a .3 series. So I might actually skip the .1 this year because the .2 sounds great. .2 is the same ppms, but it's 58.1% alcohol. But it has a lot of casks it uses. Now, they do all these acronyms, and I'm not quite sure on all of them, so I'll need you guys' help. We've got Oloroso Sherry, French Oak Cognac, Madeira, and it has MTC cask. I'm not quite sure what MTC is, so if you know what that is, comment down below. Let this idiot know what the MTC is. But that sounds really, really good to me. I actually have not had a 16.2 series yet, so I should probably pick one up because that vatting of cask finishes sounds really good to me. And then we have the Octomore 16.3, 189.5 ppm, so still pretty high, 61.6% alcohol, again, 5 years, but using bourbon, PX sherry, and sauternes. Now, PX sherry is kind of hit or miss for me, but the sauternes are a nice, sweeter French wine. Very, very good finish. I have a couple, and they're very good. So the 3 and the .2 sound like the most grabbable for me. The .1, again, is your standard entry. I would expect the .1 to probably come in around like 230, .2 maybe 250, and the .3 like 270. That's pretty standard. Again, they're limited release. But those will probably come out, coming around September, October of 2025. So make sure you follow Bruichladdich on Instagram so you can make sure you get it as soon as you can. Next up, also from Bruichladdich, they're gonna bring back the Port Charlotte 18. If you saw my top 5 scotches 2024 up here, you'll know that Port Charlotte 18 was my #1 scotch of the year. It is so divine, so amazing. And that release last year was limited to 6,000 bottles. They're gonna do 8,000 bottles this year. There's 2,000 more bottles, do your math. But this one's coming in at 51.5% ABV, a little less than the one you see on screen here. And we don't know the profile just yet. All we know is that the label was in the TTB, but the 2024 release was French Oak and Sherry, and it is very, very good. Expect this guy to be around 200, 220 bucks. I didn't buy it in the States. I bought it off Bruichladdic's website, but it was worth every penny. This is a bottle I'm absolutely going to be on the lookout for because, oh my God, if I could get the next release and they compare the two, I might be in heaven. And that'll be an also cool versus video in the future. Okay, out of the Scotch world, into the bourbon world. Guess what's coming out this year? Jack Daniel's 14 year. We all know like 2 or 3 years ago, they brought out the Jack 10 and the Jack 12. And then immediately, the secondary market said, haha, guess what? You're never gonna buy them because we're dumb. So I haven't had either one of those, but I know that they're pretty good. Now, the 10 year was below 100 proof and the 12 year was about 53% alcohol. This guy, the 14, is coming at 125 proof. And you know the proof snob like me is not gonna say no to that. Now I think it's their standard bill, mash bill. It's 80% corn, 12% malted barley, 8% rye, something like that. But the 14-year age statement and that high of proof, sign me up. I know I'll have a very, very hard time finding this bottle because Maryland distribution is terrible. So I'm going to expect MSRP to be like $250, and then I would expect secondary to go $700 here, if not a lot more than that, because the last time I saw a 10 and a 12 on the shelf, the 10 was $300 and the 12 was $400. So yeah, no thanks. But it's gonna be cool to look out for. I like the craft Jack Daniel's products. I think they're very, very good. I mean, I got 2 Coy Hills up there. I got the single barrel proofs and the rye. I think they're just great. If I can get this for MSRP, I will grab it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to skip it. And now we get to my last one. This is gonna be Blood Oath Pact 11. Now, I haven't talked about Blood Oath because number 1, I never see them. Number 2, when I do see them, I don't wanna buy them because the prices are dumb. Now, They are made by Lux Row. Now, Lux Row is a great distillery, and if you want to know more about them, I have a video of them up here. They're batched. So I don't know anything about the packs in the past. I know there's a lot of rye batches in there, and they blend a lot of ryes together, but this one is whiskeys blended together, and they're going to be finished in añejo casks. Now, I am not a big tequila guy, but somebody that watches me is, so they can go ahead and comment down below and get everything right that I'm gonna get wrong in a second. So, if you don't know anything about tequilas, you got your blancos, your reposados, your añejos, and your extra añejos. Those are just based on rest time in a barrel. The añejos are the second most time rested in a barrel. I don't know what the max is, I don't know what the minimum is. I just know that they're older in a barrel than a blanco and reposado, and younger than extra añejo. I also don't even know what the distillery is they're using, but it sounds like a really cool finish for me. I only have one other tequila finish, and that's right there, my Lagavulin 12 that I have. Profile of this guy is going to be, also checking my notes, 49.3% ABV, and the MSRP says 130, but it is not gonna happen because when I was actually at Lux Row, they had their Blood Oaths for $300. That was at the distillery. So we all know we're not gonna find it for that. I think max for this, I'd pay $200. But again, I've never had a Blood Oath, so I don't really know what I'm missing. But at least for like something cool and different that I haven't had on my shelf yet, would be cool to find and buy. So those are my main bottles I'm looking for this year. Let me know what you're looking for this year right now. Comment down below whether it's Scotch, Bourbon, Rye, Irish, American Single Malt, whatever it is, I would love to know. So I'm gonna give you a couple of bottles that I want that aren't necessarily coming out this year, just bottles that I still wanna get. So I want to get a Long Row Red. Long Row is a peated Springbank, heavily peated Springbank, and every year they come out with a bottle that is finished in a red wine. And they're always the age statement. One of the ones was like a 15 years, like Tawny Cat. Oh man, I really, really want a Long Row Red. Also want to find Springbank 12 cask strength. The only thing I have is, thanks to my buddy Daniel, a sample of it. Once that's gone, I'm gonna be very sad. So the Springbank 12 and Long Row Red are my two main scotches I would love to grab this year. And as far as bourbons go, you know, I'll keep my eyes out for a nice older barrel-proof Elijah Craig Batch C. And if like an MSRP BTAC comes my way, it won't. Or, you know, maybe a Weller from a lottery. One of those, but I'm not gonna search for those. I am kind of done hunting for these like secondary bottle price stuff. It's just not worth it. There's a bunch of other good bourbons you can get for way less money. Just gotta look for them. So there you go, my 2025 wish list for whiskeys dropping this year and whiskeys I haven't had yet that I still wanna buy this year. And if you would, I would love to know what is on your guys' wish list. Please comment down below. I don't care how many bottles you have. You can ask for 1, you can ask for 5, you can ask for 10. I'm just curious, what are you guys looking out for this year? Like this video, give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do. One of the best ways to support me. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.